Hello, I'm Brian. This is my game Slumber. I'm an indie game developer, and I was going to show a new character class I'm working on. The artwork is not updated yet, but it's called the Skater. So it's a skater. Very much inspired by 90s skater culture. This game takes place in the 90s. I was a 90s teen myself. I was not much of a skater. I would get on the skateboard and fall down. But I had a friend named Jake who was very into skating. He was a punk, and he exposed me to this whole world. And so I kind of got to experience some of it indirectly through him. Also Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the original, looked like this. I could still remember some of those sound effects of grinding and landing tricks. So I wanted to get the feeling of skateboarding into this dice roguelike game. Just a caveat, this is all very work in progress. Like I said, the artwork is older. This is not a skateboard character, and these aren't but this is like magic wand. So this artwork is going to be updated. I'll explain the mechanics and everything. We might run into bugs, and I'm just going to kind of work around them. I don't want to record this video again, so we're going to give it a go. Some background. So I'll explain the mechanics of the game, but Slumber is a game about a 90s teen who enters a dream world to face their anxieties, fears, and nightmares. I've been working on the game for about 3.5 years part-time, and the game has these character classes I call aspects. So there's in every run, you always have 2 of them. Ooh, dial the mic down a bit. So here I have this Tinker aspect. This is all about modifying my cards, making my cards better, and playing with the dice mechanics. And then here I have the Skater, and I'll explain the details. Kind of the setup of the run, and right now I'm in the dream world. The mechanics of this is a mechanic that I've had for a while, and I've been evolving it and theming it, updating it. So let's just get into it. I'll explain some basic mechanics here. So in Slumber Realm, here's a draft. This is my current inventory. In Slumber Realm, every turn you roll just 1 die. It's a 6-sided die, D6. And here I have a hammer and I have a board. You can see the pink icon at the top left and the purple. This correlates to my Tinker aspect and my Skater aspect. I might do Skater with an 8, like SK8ER, I don't know. The way it works is if I roll between 1 and a 3, I do damage equal to the die roll. And if I roll between 1 and a 3, I do 1 damage, but it does plus 2 damage if this has a trick on it. So before it was like a magic trick theme, now it's going to be a skater trick. And the basic way that trick works, it's a modification on the card. So it says this card resolves 1 extra time per trick, then spends 1 trick. So if there's a trick on here, the card will do 1 damage, and it will have plus 2 damage, so it'll do 3 damage, and then it will do 3 damage again. So that's the basic idea of the trick mechanic. And here I can draft cards. So, I'm noticing right away I have 1 to 3 covered, but there's 4, 5, 6 I might roll, and nothing's going to happen there. So I might want to do something in response to that. This is a skater card, the handrail. It's kind of setting up a trick. It adds 1 trick to the previous and next card, but I remove all defense. So this would be really great here. This is great for a lot of reasons. It kind of covers that 4 to 6 range, so at least I get some benefit from that roll. It adds tricks to the hammer and the board so that they are more effective next time. But the downside is I remove all my defense. So one theme in the skater is just being reckless. So removing defense. A lot of the cards you take damage when you take damage by using the card. But it has a big upside too. It's just like it has a downside. So self-damage is a part of skateboarding, and I wanted to express that in the card. There's a lot of mechanics that play with that as well. Anyway, I'm just going to go for it and go for the handrail and see what happens. So the tuning of this content is all very work in progress as well. All right, so in this game, this is kind of the map of the dream. I'm eventually going to face this boss at the end. I could see it's a gabagool, so it's a pizza ghost. But meanwhile, I start here, and I can choose Buffoli, which is like a base enemy. I'll get 20 gold, and I'll explain these resources in a second. Or I could go for the skeleton, and this is an elite enemy. I'll get 20 gold, same gold, but I will heal 5. And instead of getting that yellow, I'm going to get this memory. This is like a passive benefit. And I'm also going to get some bonus allowance. And that comes into play in like the bedroom scene, the meta progression. So it doesn't help me immediately in this dream, but helps me in the future. So I think I'm just going to be a little more conservative for right now. And I'm going to go for the Buffoli. Also, I love the Buffoli art. So Brave Knight versus fifth worst nightmare. I face 5 enemies in the dream. Okay, so the resources. There are 3 resources in the game. There's yellow, blue, and pink. Now, these are just resources. You get the resource by activating your cards. So the hammer gives me 2 yellow. I get 3 blue, 3 pink by activating my cards. And I could have up to 10. There are ways to increase that max. And then I use those on these abilities. So this ability says I add a forged modification to a card, and that forged increases the dice range upwardly. So if I were to apply this to the hammer, it would become a 1 in 4. So it increases the odds that the hammer gets hit, and that's permanent for the whole dream. This also has the ability to increase uses on cards. I don't have any limited use cards right now, so not relevant at this moment, but it can be very useful. And the skater. So I could do an ollie, for those that know. That's just a skateboard trick, basic skateboard trick. I would never be able to do an ollie, but many people can. So this card resolves as it applies the trick, which I've explained. So that I can apply the trick to any card I want. So I can choose the card and put the trick on. The handrail would be great. I could put that trick on the handrail, and then if the handrail triggers, it'll apply 2 tricks to the hammer and board. So this is where things start to combo. Or I could just send it. And if I send it, I apply trick to 2 random cards, but I also take 1 damage. So I don't control where they go. I'm going all out. And I also take a little bit of damage for being reckless. So I think I'm just going to do that because it's fun. I'm tempted to do this because it is nice to increase the dice range, especially early on. But I'm just going to kind of demonstrate some mechanics here. So let's send it. Okay, so I did take the 1 damage. But yeah, I put 1 trick on the handrail. So when this triggers, it's going to trigger twice. And the board has 1 trick. So this is going to do... So what I'm really hoping to roll here, 1 to 3, 3 to 6, 1 to 3. If I roll a 3, I will activate all 3 of these cards. And, you know, I might just one-shot this enemy if that happens. So let's see what happens. 5. Okay. So I get the handrail. I'm adding a trick. I don't have any defense to remove, so that's okay. And this triggered a second time because it had a trick on it itself. The enemy always rolls in the game, so here I take 1 damage. Healing is a little bit limited in this game. It is possible. Generally, you want some cards to give you defense. I don't have anything like that now. I have the handrail, which removes defense, so... Oh, I have a visitor. Okay, I'll see you in a bit, alright? Okay. Okay, so back to this. So at this point, I have a few things I could do. I could add more tricks to my cards. Now, handrail is only a nighttime card. This, in the dream, it's a little bit odd, but it goes between night and day. You know, many of my dreams take place during the day, so let's just, you know, excuse that. But it's daytime now, so it switches between day and night every turn. So this is a nighttime card. This handrail is nighttime, so it's not active right now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start refining. I would love both of these to activate. These are both great. I think just because I have this handrail set up where it adds a trick to the board, I'm going to go ahead and choose the board. So 1 to 3 will turn into 1 to 4. Now, better chances of hitting this. Now, I still in kind of a bad spot where if I hit a 5 or 6, nothing's going to happen. So that's a 1 in 3. Hopefully that doesn't happen. It happened, so I missed. Yeah. Okay. Now the enemy kind of hits me with a critical hit, so I take 3 damage. Okay, the handrail's back online. If I hit this board, it's going to do 3 damage 4 times. I think it's going to do 12 damage. So a 1 to 3 right now is going to, I think, guarantee the kill pretty much. Be a little bit close. I'm hoping I hit a 1 to 3. I hit a 5 again, of course. So this is where there is true RNG in this game, but I try and give the player tools like refine to mitigate this kind of RNG. Okay, so I'm feeling very good about hitting a 1 and 4 now, so let's just roll. I could do the send it, but I feel like it's not going to be necessary. Let's just roll. I hit a 6, so. All right, we do a chop. All right, let's go again, because if I hit this handrail, I at least have a benefit there. Okay, perfect, I got my 3. So hammer is going to do 3 damage, 3 damage, 3 damage because it had 2 tricks on it. Oh, it had 3 tricks on it. So the hammer itself just almost finishes it off. And then 1 from there will be enough. Good night. A lot of puns in the game. So here I'm going to claim my rewards. I get gold, I get some yellow, and I get to draft another card. Okay, so this rewind button is pretty cool. Let's see if this, yeah, it's a little bit overwhelming, but I'm gonna explain some details. So simply on a 1 to 4, it's gonna evolve into a gnarly 360. So it's like you're rewinding a tape and you get to watch that gnarly 360 again. So if we look at that gnarly 360, it is a limited use. It has only 1 use, but it does 20 damage. And it has this mechanic called follow-up. So if I use an ability on the same turn, then that follow-up part of the card will be active, and it says evolve into rewind button. So it goes back to the rewind button. So I have a way to kind of save it. As long as I ensure I could use one of my abilities, it doesn't matter which ability, one of the abilities on that turn where the gnarly 360 will activate, I can turn it back into rewind button, and then it's like a loop. I could keep doing that. So 20 damage is just an incredible amount of damage. So that's pretty cool. It only gives me 1 yellow, though, so that's a downside. This D battery, I could add 1 power to the previous next card. I don't have power at this point, so I'm not going to explain that too much right now, but that is a mechanic that is often relevant. And then simply laser tag blaster on a 1, 25 damage. So, you know, this is a similar power level as this, but it's very rare, right? It's nighttime and it's 1. I'm definitely going to go for the rewind button just to kind of show it off. I'll do a couple more things here, but here I can make a trade, so I could trade resources. The Brain Sheriff helping me regulate. So these resources represent emotions, anxiety, fear, and joy. So the Brain Sheriff helps you regulate your emotions, kind of like a Inside Out style. So it will take 2 of my fear and give me 3. So that's a good trade for me because I have 7. So I'm gonna go ahead and give him a high 5. That's how you seal a deal in the Wild West. And I can also go to the market. So here I have 20 gold. There's some cool stuff here. So this gives me a lot of defense. Now, something about this handrail. This removes all defense, but it removes it early in the sequence. The way the sequence works, it does this one, this one, this one, and then it goes down here. So it goes left to right, top to bottom. It's just a sequence that the cards activate in. So I could possibly take advantages. If I put this at the end of the sequence, I'll get the 6 defense sort of after I lose my armor. So that's pretty appealing to me. I think I'm going to go for that. That's 15. So I still have 5 circus equipment. Add 2 tricks to your last equipment. So that's pretty cool. I just have to think about what my last equipment will be. Rewind button. That's a weird one to apply the trick to because it's going to switch from rewind button to gnarly 360 and then back and forth. There are cases where you want to do that. There's things that trigger off evolve, but in this case, probably not. I don't know that that's going to be super relevant for me right now, so I'll probably pass on this. This changes it into daytime, which I've had a lot of equipment that activated during the daytime. That could be relevant, but I have mostly nighttime equipment. I'm going to have this one, so I'm just going to buy this. Slumber does take place inside a dream, so I'm able to do some kind of weird stuff, like, yeah, whatever's going on there. Okay. This is just reminding me that I can reorder my cards. I think I like this order. The main thing is I want to ensure this defense is after I remove my defense. So this order generally seems good. So I'm just going to go for it. Okay, I'll start one more battle. I don't know if I'll finish it. Let's fight this cat, right? Okay, the Brave Knight versus the Beer. This is the Beer Cat. So it'll assign me paperwork, which will sap my joy. Very thematic. Okay, so I'm going to want to make sure that I have resources to spend for this follow-up ability next turn, so I don't want to spend too many resources right now. I would like to start refining more of my stuff just to have increased ranges, especially this one would be nice to increase the range of. So I think I'll go for that. I think that should put me in a pretty good spot, and I'll just try and get the trick off this guy. So I'm going to refine the rewind button. This also showed that it's just showing you that an ability was used. So this follow-up effect would be active, but it's daytime. So there are some effects in the game that let daytime equipment activate at night. All sorts of ways to cheat. 3, that's like my really good roll. That activates everything. So I'm going to do 3 damage, apply the tricks, remove defense I don't have, do 3 damage because I had a trick. Evolve, this evolves into gnarly 360. And when cards evolve, they maintain their modifications. So I'll show that in a second. So I got some paperwork. I'm going to lose 1 joy from the paperwork. Paperwork goes away, though. Okay, so both of these are now limited use. I'm going to lose both of these when they activate, unless I follow up. So I'm definitely going to use an ability. That's easy. I just have to plan ahead and make sure I'd have enough resources on this turn to do that, which the cat is making more difficult through the paperwork, right? But let me, just thinking what I want to do. I definitely want to use an ability. What ability? I'd refine. It's always nice to do. I can increase my chances against defense, especially because I'm getting low. I could send it if I want to be a little reckless. I think I will. I could also just increase the uses manually right here, but I don't think that'll be a problem for right now. So I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do a conservative kind of get my hammer going, upgrade it a little bit. And now these are both have their follow-up ability active. So I'm just going to roll and see. Hopefully I get a 3. 3 is awesome. Oh, I got a 6. I missed everything because I don't have coverage of 6. Okay, that's not horrible. I just lose, 1 joy. But that's okay. I didn't lose these. These are still here because they didn't activate. Okay, I don't have anything I can really do. I can increase uses, but not super pertinent. I'm just hoping I roll low. 3, great roll. Every time I roll a 6, maybe I'll roll a 3 the next time, So here I get some tricks. And I do... Is this going to be enough? No, I think I need 2 more. This time I just lose some joy, so that's not so bad. I'm going to have enough this turn to activate one of my abilities so I can get the follow-up. That's most important. So I think I have a very good chance of defeating this guy this turn. As long as I don't roll a 6, I will defeat, and that's a very good chance. So I'm just going to invest in kind of my future play. I'm going to refine some more. I think I'll refine the board. Why not? Okay. Yeah, get the follow-up there, and I'm going to roll. So just no 6. Okay, that'll do it. So 1 damage, and then that does... There, I did the 20 damage on there. Oh no, I'm realizing there's an edge case in the game rules of... I know why that thing disappeared. I have a way I can fix that, patch up that case, because you wouldn't want to lose that card in that case. It's because it was a... Yeah. Anyway, there's so much nuance to this game that it's a lot. So that's what I have for today. I just wanted to show off the skater. There's a lot of great cards like a ramp and curb wax, a waxed curb. There's a whole like VHS recording mechanic I have in there. So lots of fun stuff. More to come soon. Thanks for watching.